Hi everyone, welcome to this Expertise on Demand session about intelligent document processing. We'll be covering the entire market, components, trends, and future outlooks for IDP. My name is Tony Sharma. I'm a market expert on emerging technologies, and I cover a very broad spectrum of topics. So if you are interested in connecting with me, feel free to scan the QR code and send me a LinkedIn invite. Uh, so what we'll be covering today in this session. So we'll understand what is intelligent document processing, what this market is all about, what's the market size, what is the expected growth rate for IDB solutions, how this solution category has evolved over years, what are the key capabilities, what are the different use cases, and what kind of industries does it support. This market, like many other technology software markets, is divided in the sense there are different categories of players. So we'll understand what those categories are and who are the key players, along with a basic summary of future trends, market outlook, and directions. Just wanted to call it out that this is not the most comprehensive primer on this particular topic. So if in case you're interested to know more, you'll have to reach out to me. I'll provide the details towards the end of the session. And this is just covering like a tip of the iceberg, hardly 5% of the total what is possible. So let's dive in. About me, my name is Tony Sharma. I'm an expert advisor on emerging technologies with more than 25 years of experience consulting Fortune 100 companies across the world, driving technology led transformation efforts. I've been helping consulting firms and PEVC firms polish their research projects and investments strategies for almost 10 years now. But I can cover a very wide spectrum of topics from artificial intelligence, cloud, SaaS, blockchain, process mining, PaaS, RPA, bots, intelligent automation, IT service management solutions, governance, risk and compliance solutions, ERP, CRM, to data platforms, experience management platforms, what we call as XM, low code, no code, or to say custom development platforms, finance transformation related platform solutions, enterprise architecture. So there is a very wide spectrum that I can cover into the technology space. For me, research and innovation are key attributes which have to continue evolving. So to the let's get to the definition part of intelligent document processing, our core topic today. So, in very simple terms, any software or solution that uses a wide variety of capabilities provided by emerging tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning. So, what kind of capabilities? So, capabilities like computer vision, optical character recognition, natural language processing, and machine deep learning to capture, categorize, and extract data. So, today, if we say that data driven decision making is in vogue and there is a lot of data which is sitting in the organizations, 80% of that data is sitting either in portals, either in emails, either in text and PDF or scanned documents, which needs further processing and it needs to be digitized in order to be usable. So this is a definition which was provided by the Everest Group, but it's a very concise and comprehensive kind of a definition. So now let's move forward towards what is the total market size. So overall, currently as of 2021, it is estimated that there are 30 plus players into this market. $1.5 billion was the overall size which was estimated. But this is expected to grow at a rate of 23.1%, which is quite high from the current 1.5 billion estimated to a 4.2 billion in 2026. And when you look at what is around you, you see a lot of the documentation getting shifted for usability by different platforms because three or four developments are very key from this perspective. One is platform economy is in place. There is a phenomenal focus on using data for decision making now, and there is a phenomenal focus which is being made in terms of how do you derive insights from the data, how do you understand the context of the data. So it is not just data capture which is growing. There is a pivot towards data analysis as well. So when we look at the market, so there are some key players which obviously you can see it on the screen. So Kofax is there, IBM is there, OpenText, Abby. These are all traditional document management players. They have done a lot of document management and document capture related capabilities for a very long time. Microsoft more as a hyperscaler, I would say. And you see that this market has a largest proportion with so many small players, like 47.9% into that. But that's the nature of this market, and we'll get into more details soon in the coming up slides. Now let's talk about how this tech evolved over the years. Okay, this is a very interesting part, but before getting there, you just have to understand what is the input for these platforms. So there are three types of documents which are available. So you have structured document, very fixed layout, and tags to separate semantic elements. Things like passport. It's a very good example of a structured document. All the different countries' passport, they basically comply with a single layout criteria, and it is you don't have to make a lot of effort as to find out as as a system or solution where the next best information is, where the next part of the information is. Okay, then you have vehicle registration forms or any government forms or any medical forms. There is a certain format in which these are there, so these kind of documents are called structured one. Then you have a semi-structured document, so you have a lot of variability in layout or variability in semantic expression, but there could be general keys. So one very good example of a semi-structured document is invoices. Vendors send you the invoices, so every invoices will have an invoice number, invoice date, purchase order, amount, tax, VAT or whatever, and GST or whatever, VAT registration number or any sort of registration number. This all will be there with all the vendor invoices. But where to find it? The format will be different every time. The system which is reading these invoices need to be slightly more intelligent than general NFOK. Just pick it up from here and put it up in a different field. That kind of logic will not work. Now, after semi-structured documents, you have unstructured documents. So you do not conform to a predefined data structure, and there are the keys to separate semantic elements are missing. So one good example of that could be contract. So we all know that there are certain base elements of the contract which are there. You will have certain clauses, you will have certain sections, but every contract is different from another one, right? So there you cannot compare a loan agreement between, even within loan agreements you will have different categories of loans like a home loan, student loan, etc. Now why I'm talking about document types first, because in order to understand the evolution of this industry over the years, it is very critical to understand how there is a shift into the kind of documents that we have, and this will have a bearing on to what the different capabilities that each of the solution providers that we will cover slightly later into the pack. Now let's go to the evolution journey. So this is a very old industry, as long as people started putting the paper copies in some form onto computers. So the earliest systems were completely desk based. So if you have a desktop computer, you have to put up a system or a scanner next to it, and that was the initial beginning. So this was on all around scanning and capture. So there are two tracks you have to understand and three phases. So there is a document storage and document management era. Then there is a process automation era. So last, I would say 10-15 years has been a automation era. Last 3-4 years, there has been a phenomenal amount of focus because artificial intelligence, computer vision, intelligent character recognition. There have been phenomenal developments into this space. So you are in a position where you can do redaction, where you can do entity extraction, you can do multiple different things with IDP. Now you have a possibility to derive business insights out of it. And this has happened because AI as a tech lever is getting industrialized. So many product solutions in companies are available. So many startups are getting the funding. So this is getting industrialized by the day as we speak. Okay. Now, from a journey standpoint, I'll say there are two tracks. So one is the input track and the output track, and one is the processing track. So right from scanning capture days, like there used to be a dedicated scanner for each machine, to centralized data stream, to document classification, extraction of entities. Some intelligent search started happening. Intelligent search started happening. There is a validation and cross-checking capabilities were required, and moving up to the final stage of information analysis, where we are and where we are headed. So we'll see a lot of developments into information analysis, where you are able to Earlier used to be the image data, then it meant to glyphs and characters, then different document types like classification. Okay, this is an invoice, this is a legal notice. That kind of automation these IDP solutions were doing. Then identifying the tagged information, making use of the tagged information. Then some advanced contract management capabilities to say, okay, so and so vendor has breached so and so clause of the contract, so let's go ahead and put some penalties onto it. Then getting into the business metrics and trends standpoint, that so much of data analysis is happening just at the indexing and document capture stage itself. You are able to determine as to what is going to be the overall business outcome. So this has been a very interesting development, but not a siloed development, I would say. That context has to be kept in mind. Now let's look at the current capabilities, because this evolution journey and the existing capabilities are tied together. So you have document classification, identifying different document types based on the content that is there in them. Entity extraction, identifying specific information elements from documents. Intelligent search, so your ability to retrieve documents or collections of documents based on the search criteria. So this is the fuzzy criteria that you did. So I want to look at the invoices which will come from ABC consultants. Okay, so this is a fuzzy criteria, this is not a very clear criteria, but still you have the ability to do that. Validation and cross checking, validating specific information elements within the documents against information that is held elsewhere. And information analysis, so you pick up the components of the information that are interconnected and provide a deeper understanding and actionable insight. So this is getting more and more context specific. So has to be specific to the context in order to be usable. So currently these capabilities do exist, and majority of the providers are focused more onto the mature capability side, because basic ones, honestly speaking, a lot of the tools can provide and deliver. Okay, now let's understand the market. So there are, I would say, there are different types of solutions that exist into the intelligent document processing market. We'll cover them by categories. I have given some examples into this presentation. For a more detailed one, you can get back to me at expertise@tonysharma.com, and I'll be happy to help you in terms of understanding the different nuances associated with it. So there are primarily four different categories. So you have players which are document processing and management lineage ones. So these are historically, as a heritage, they have been doing document processing and management. These players exist. Number two, hyperscalers and platform players. Now, this is a very interesting category. So, as we know by the name itself, hyperscalers, platform players will include companies like Microsoft, AWS, companies like Google. And here I'm not making any remark on to any provider being superior or inferior to anybody in any category at all. So, you have to keep that in mind. There was a disclaimer in the beginning as well, but this holds true. So hyperscalers and platform players, they are basically into the business of selling compute and storage capability. Now, for them, intelligent document processing capabilities and the investments that they are making into this space, this is just a lever as a sales to enable the sales for their compute and storage core capabilities. Okay, so you'll not find very advanced features, but they will offer things like, okay, native integration with Azure or native integration with Google Cloud. You have some developer tools available, you have some better analytics available, but not very advanced features into this particular space. And we'll cover this in slight more detail into the coming few pages. So then you have innovative startups into this IDP space. So innovative startups are getting a lot of funding into this particular space, because 23-24% means this is a growing segment. And then you have RPA lineage vendors. So RPA vendors have been existing for a decent amount of time now. They were doing a lot of the automation related stuff associated with documents. So they thought, okay, this could be another revenue stream, and they started investing into these products. So we'll cover them now in further detail. So what are the different categories we have covered? Now we'll go to what are the different key players into the market. So starting up with the document processing lineage one. So Abby. Abby is, I would say, one of the most popular and most well-known name, especially into the IDP space. FlexiCapture, their core offering. It's an intelligent document processing platform bringing together OCR, NLP, ML, and recognition capabilities onto a single platform. primarily focused on semi-structured and unstructured documents, but it can handle all types of documents, obviously, because unstructured is the most complex ones. And if you are able to do unstructured, you can do anything. Key differentiation. So they have a next generation platform coming up in version 2 already. I think it's version 2.1 now, but I have, for the sake of this discussion, I've kept it version 2.0. So they are planning a new digital marketplace where you can have capabilities downloadable to the customers. They are building a customer and partner community to facilitate exchange and use of trained skills. Supporting both on-prem and cloud, mobility platform is also available. They market themselves as a safe pair of hands into this particular space, IDP space, due to past legacy in OCR and document capture technologies. So primary industries and use cases, I leave it as it is. If it's because this can be done across, but primarily you will see a kind of a thread across. You will find high tech telecom, you will find travel and logistics, healthcare, pharma, manufacturing, banking and capital markets. In functional areas, you will find finance and accounting, HRMS, procurement, purchase orders, invoices, forms, and all that. So you'll see a lot of the B2C related segments using it, but it is not that only B2C is using it. So B2B is also using it. So for areas like, there are large pharmacy retailers in United States. They have, I would say, couple of millions of invoices, like 30, 40 millions of invoices every year. They can't do their business without a IDP. So it's expected. But I'll not spend a lot of time into the further slides onto the industries and use cases, but we'll cover the offering and differentiation quickly. Okay. Second provider, Kofax. This is like started in 1985, exists for a very long time. They have a solution called Total Agility. It helps in orchestrating digital workflows. This is another interesting aspect. So workflow capability and IDP capability, they go hand in hand. So because workflow is using the data that IDP is capturing from the documents and convert it into a metadata. So that's the feed that workflows are using. Automation touch points that previously required human intervention. So it's a standard story. Embedded AI to capture, classify, and extract and understand various types of documents, information, and language, leveraging supervised and unsupervised machine learning. Slightly advanced capabilities. Key differentiation, they have a key differentiation in the form of their intelligent automation platform. So this is everything coming together. So you have RPA capabilities because Coafax competes into RPA space as well. You have intelligent capture, cognitive capture, you can call it anything. You have process orchestration, business rules management capability. You have mobile, you have analytics, and you are shifting towards a kind of a digital workflow. One interesting aspect and a differentiation is 200 languages. So it can do even languages which are left to right which are not just left to right but right to left in nature as well. So this has got a very big span of customers across. Pre-built out of the box solutions are offered for invoices and claims processing, because these are the standard forms which are most volume intensive, especially in the IDP area. Okay, let's move to the next one. So again, document processing lineage, IBM is a big name. DataCap was their key acquisition. I think it was in sometimes in 2010, if I'm not wrong. But verify this information before believing me. I could be wrong as well. So you have content services, you have multi-channel ingestion, structured capture workflow systems. Now IBM has got a IBM Cloud Pak, which is a kind of a offering that they have, and they have multiple capabilities into that space around automation, integrations, document capture, multiple things, okay, across the IBM ecosystem. Here you see an ecosystem approach gaining prominence. Okay, there is a low-code application designer which is being used for the document capture and processing, automated document processing solution that they have using AI ML to configure the application. And there is a human in the loop validation as well. Like you're constantly training the AI that, okay, you are not able to find the invoice number, you will find it over there, this is the way to find it. So AI is making a note of this human in the loop behavior and making improvements for the subsequent documents that it receives. Again, another vendor on document processing side, this is Antwork. So this is a fractal science based IMR solution, basically intelligent automation solution. So they use a term called cognitive machine reading. Again, these are all fancy terms for marketing. Every single platform will have to use, with capability to digitize structured documents and unstructured documents, images and other data types such as printed and block and cursive handwriting. This is interesting. There are solutions which have the capability to distinguish and differentiate between 300 types of handwritings. Okay, this is very interesting, and this speaks volumes about the maturity this particular segment has achieved. So this includes handwritings. This can verify signatures. So if you have check stubs and you have to do verification of check stubs, it can see the kerns into the writing that is written over there in the signatures, and it can do that. Okay, you have pictures, barcodes, check boxes, and radio buttons. Uh, Antworks uses a proprietary content-based object recognition framework to identify data elements in documents, and it can be trained with a very small set of representative data. This is another area. So in the erstwhile days when you were training any OCR, it used to take, the stabilization of OCR was a journey by itself. And this continued, I think, till 2005, 2006, 2010, 12, maybe. Yes. This needed a lot of feed of the documents over a period of time. The requirement of this document fodder kept on reducing. So ultimately, you came to a stage where you need hardly a few documents in order to train the entire model, the machine learning model, which is doing these selections behind. One interesting differentiation that Antworks has is the citizen development capability. So it's like we can configure and customize by our own. We don't need to go to the vendor back and back again. Then another aspect is the sentiment analysis and named entity correlation capabilities. So these are some of the things that has to be kept in mind. Now let's go to the hyperscalers and we'll be quickly cover it because this is not much different. The key point to note here is the again the same. Their primary business is compute and storage sales. That's what they are enabling through the IDP. So Google, we all know Google. We all know the story of Google. Decades of investment in crawling and understanding unstructured web pages. So they have a very strong computer vision, OCR, NLP that creates pre-trained models for high value, high volume documents. Their doc AI is currently focused on creating a doc parser library spanning verticals and geographies with knowledge graph enrichment. Okay. Quickly, Microsoft has made some huge investment, especially with their Power Automate platform. They have a lot of cognitive APIs which are doing computer vision. They are doing conversational intelligence, multiple different things into this document capture and usage space. But primarily using Power Automate and Azure as the key buildup. They have integrations with everything, so you can use a Microsoft solution like a form recognizer or Read API or anything else for that matter onto any other platform. But they have pre-built entity extraction models, very low document requirements, in the sense you can train the entire model by 5 to 7 documents itself. That also I have heard. And they have an AI builder as well. So very interesting area Microsoft is getting into, because the scale is huge. It's not just tied with what is the size of the existing market. Hyperscalers will make it very big than what it is today. Then you have AWS again, multiple different products like AWS ecosystem approach. So you have SageMaker, Ground Truth, Comprehend, A2I, multiple different things, and offered along with the AWS developer tools system. So you have to see ecosystem and compute and storage as the key levers when you want to understand that. Then you have these startups, so innovative startups. So Cortical, I would say novel natural language processing, natural language understanding solution called semantic folding. Key differentiation in their approach. They are focused on unstructured documents, not a lot of manual effort needed. Then you have Eigen Technologies. This is more focused on complexity and variability. So, and it offers a lot of analysis related capabilities, extracting entities, contracts, news articles, and emails are their preferred one because that's what they can show their magic on. Then you have Hyperscience. Hyperscience is a very interesting one. So this is completely machine learning driven, very advanced machine learning module, automating majority of the data entry tasks and extracting various types of data types, including handwrite and cursive and printed text. Uh, these solutions can be trained in very few examples, and human in the loop is again a key aspect of it. Then you have Hypatos. Hypatos has the application is called the Studio, Hypatos Studio. It enables organizations to train deep learning models without data science and ML engineering resources. So very resource optimal. You don't need a lot of advanced resources, costly resources in order to go to market with this one. It's a 2D document processing artificial neural network model wherein you put the documents where the input invoices are embedded into a higher dimensional matrix representation. This is too much of a technical jargon. Not I'll not recommend this to you to go through it, but I will suggest if you are really interested, go ahead and see some demos of this particular product. Rossum AI is a well-known one. It's an end-to-end AI document processing solution that is combining cognitive data capture platform with a full suite of integration capabilities focused on ease of deployment and real back office processes. It also has some key differentiators. It is able to understand based on user feedback and it doesn't need a lot of manual rules or templates to go live. It provides a verification interface that runs in the browser and it makes the deployment easier. So, ease of deployment is a key thing also into this area because if you have to spend a lot of manual effort, a lot of documents in order to deploy the solution, then your motivation will be low as well. Grouper is a similar one. The company behind Grouper is BIS. So pretty much ML, natural language processing, computer vision, and image processing. Okay. Now let's go to Evolution AI, which is the next one. Again, similar capabilities with some differentiation. There is a quality analysis that is offered by Evolution AI consultants. They do the setup training and quality analysis themselves. Okay. Then you have the RPA lineage vendor. So this is pretty much, I'll not cover this in a lot of detail in the interest of time because we are already around 27-28 minutes into the session. But again, this is just supporting their core RPA capabilities and they deploy it like UiPath is available as an independent standalone solution as well, which is good and okay. And they have third-party engine partnerships like Microsoft, Google, Abby, and Tesseract, multiple different things. But pretty much, when you see from a product strategy standpoint, this is more to support their core RPA offering. Just like for hyperscalers, it is to support their core compute and storage sales offering. Okay. Then you have Work Fusion that I've covered in this pack. And if anybody needs these slide access to these slides or the link to these slides, please reach out to me at expertise at tonysharma.com and I'll be happy to share the link to the slides. Okay. Then we have Indico, which is again all structured, semi-structured, unstructured. UI is known for Indico. Complete introspection and remediation of custom models using data science metrics is one of the key differentiations. You have Inferred. Inferred is also a similar solution in this particular space with some capabilities on complex tables, handwritten documents, stamps, graphs, and other formats, which many of the others might not be able to cover. Then there is a future trends I wanted to cover. So primarily, what all we can expect into the future. So there will be more AI and ML because this is where it is headed. Automated information redaction, translation, advanced search, and intelligent analytics. More innovation, more cloud. That's the mantra. Master data matching and multi-language handling capabilities. Investments in pre-built out-of-the-box solutions for a variety of complex use cases. It's going to get industry specific at some stage. They are also taking a platform vision, so they are building up things like an apps marketplace, curated use cases, collaborative features into their solutions. Improvements in UI, mobility enablement. How do I capture a document just from mobile and it gets captured into the platform? So the mobile related placement nuances and all that. How do you handle that? Low code, no code, and all that stuff. One interesting statistic that you have to keep in mind as to while we are talking about this particular area is by 2025, it is estimated that 180 zettabytes of data would be generated each year. This is a stat given by IDC. And considering the quantum of data which is circulating around us, I don't find it quite impossible to achieve. Indeed, this is growing at a rate of 23%. So, this is a very interesting and a dynamic space, both from an investment standpoint, research standpoint, adoption of technology standpoint, because you can do a lot putting up a IDP solution at the front end and then using some low code, no code, or custom development workflows in order to digitize your business processes. With that, I'll call it a close. Thank you for attending. If you wish to know more about IDP as a market or cover areas like adoption trends by industry, process areas, drivers of adoption, relative comparison of these different solutions, which one detailed comparisons actually, what are the different product capabilities with each, future trend selection parameters, features, attributes of each individual solution, deployment models and TCO, etc. Feel free to reach out to me at expertise@tonysharma.com. That's the same email ID that you see on the screen. And there is a QR code as well for my LinkedIn. So you can connect me with LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.